All right, so we're just gonna be doing a flight here in Pensacola Beach. Let's go ahead and prime the motor. Flying the Air Conception 130 today. Let's go ahead and hook into the glider. Okay, do a quick line layout check. Make sure the lines are good. Trim tabs, make sure they're in the same position. All looks good. Turn. We're going to turn left. What's really nice about this Air Conception is it's so light that it's so nice to be able to have this motor on your back and not really worry about it because it's so lightweight, and just makes flying with the paramotor on your back totally different feeling now. A total different feeling. It's a totally different game now. All right, we're ready to go here. Everything still looks good. Wind is still okay. Let's try to bring up the glider. Bring it down. There it is. Let's get that little stabilized there. Nice and stable. Take a few steps back. Turn and go. Nice and slow. That's it, guys. That's how easy it is. Go ahead and let out these trips because we're not getting too much speed. There we go, got something now. Let's go ahead and climb up a bit. So, you know, there's a saying in real estate, location, location, location. And in the paramotor world for training, it's the same thing, location, location. In order to get proper training and really get down the skills, you need to be at a really good place to be able to learn. And one of the best places to learn how to fly a paramotor is along the beach. And the reason for that is we have smooth laminar wind most of the time. And I could say probably 80% of the time we got very consistent winds here. So what that does is it allows us to be able to train in very consistent conditions for long hours. So we can kite basically for, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day doing reverse kiting and really getting a feel of the wing. Whereas inland, you don't have consistent conditions, so what ends up happening is in order to be able to do reverse kiting, obviously you need wind. So inland, you might get maybe 1 hour or 2 hours of maybe some sort of steady wind and you're done. So here along the beach, what we can do in 7 hours, 8 hours in one day of reverse kiting, you might need 8 days inland to do what we can do here on the beach in just one day. So that's why it's location, location. This place here is an absolute amazing place to learn how to fly. Reason being is take a look around you. You don't have any obstacles whatsoever. So we have this nice big area to fly from. We don't have any mountains or power lines or anything like that. And we're able to concentrate on flying and get the skills down. And also another thing about the location is when you're inland, you have to deal with thermals and of course the inconsistent winds. But thermals being the biggest. In the summertime, we have pretty strong thermals inland. So what ends up happening is if you're trying to learn inland, you either have to do it early in the morning, let's say from 7 to maybe about 11, and then kind of stop. One being the thermals are picking up, so it's creating, inconsistent conditions. And the other thing too is, again with the thermals, is if you're trying to fly inland, it gets pretty hard because during between 12 and 4 or 5 in the summer hours, you're dealing with thermal conditions. So as a new pilot, you don't really want to be flying in that because it gets bumpy and kind of sketchy. So most of the time you have to stop. So you'll train maybe like from 7 to like 10, 11, and then you have to stop. And then come back around 6, 7, 8. But being here at the beach, we don't really deal with thermals because the laminar air coming off the ocean is going inland. So what's happening is it's pushing the thermals inland. So there's really no thermal activity here along the beach. So what that means is we can fly here pretty much all day long. We can fly around 12, 1, 2, and 3 o'clock, saving us the time of, stopping training and not doing anything until like 6, 7, 8, if you were doing it inland. So that's one of the biggest things about it here is we can train all day long. We have consistent conditions. We don't have to worry about thermal flying, inconsistent winds. So, the fact of the matter is, guys, if you want to learn how to fly a paramotor properly in 7 days or 10 days, you have to be in the proper place. Because if you're not in the proper place, it's just really hard to do it. It's almost impossible. It would take you weeks and weeks to get down all the skills that you need, the flight time, the ground time. One of the biggest things we have to deal with is the ground handling. So that takes a long time to really get it down really perfectly where you never have a problem. Because all the accidents that happen in the paramotor world on takeoff is because the pilots are improperly trained. They haven't had enough time under the glider on the ground. They don't have enough time because training inland, they can't do it. They don't have enough consistent weather to be able to do that. So that's what's kind of happening with the training. That's why I train out here. It's not just for the beach and the suntan. It's because I want to provide my students with the best possible conditions. So if they come out for 7 days or 10 days, they have the best possible conditions to be able to learn. Otherwise, they're just wasting their time. And if you take a look at it here, this is the spot that we usually fly from. You can see my van there. And that's the spot right here. So we're not actually on the beach, we're on the inland here. So there's not people walking around here because this is not actually the beach. The beach is over there. So what's happening is we kind of have this place to ourselves and we're not bothering people. And that's why we're allowed to do it here. So it's a really great place. It's nice and roomy. We can do reverses, we can do forwards, we can do everything pretty much what we want to do. So that's what's the most important part about doing the training is the location. So I hope that makes you guys understand a little better why it's so important to pick the right spot for your training. I offer a 7-day paramotor training course here in Pensacola, and you come out here, conditions are good, we'll be able to get you down all the skills that you need, and you have no problems from there on. Okay, we're going to come in for a landing here. Most important about landing with a paramotor, most important part is, of course, landing into the wind. You don't land into the wind, it gets ugly. So the whole point here is just land it right into the wind nicely, and we're good to go. There we go, that's the landing.